All right, I'm going to jump right in. I just hijacked the main stage. My name's Tony Boldy. I'm over on the MMI stage. It's been a wonderful 2 days so far. Very excited. But I want to introduce this next guest. I think he deserves to have a proper introduction like all of our other speakers. So I'm just going to read something special. The founder of The Best You and CEO of NLPLife Training. He also coaches and mentors. His program is a one-to-one or group coaching and mentors. His mentor program is called Rise to the Top. He offers within training the use and taking advantage of the platform. This is the Best You platform in Dallas 2020. I bring to you Bernardo Moya. How are you, Bernardo?
I'm very good, Tony. Thank you so much. Thank you for the introduction.
So honored to introduce you to your own platform on your own stage to share today.
Thank you so much. It was nice. I was going to introduce myself. I thought, you know what? We have Tony Boldy here, who does a great job. So thank you so much, Tony. I really appreciate what you do for me. Thank you.
I definitely miss the main stage, but you know what? The MMI stage feels just like the main stage. The speakers are phenomenal. The whole event has been amazing. It's only 3 days versus 7 days, but I've gotten so much information already. How about you?
Yes, it's been amazing. Today, yesterday, so many highlights, so many great speakers. Serious caliber speakers. So it's and I think the production, we've obviously, carry on pushing ourselves to make it even better and greater, and we're going to continue to do so.
Oh, I love it. And I'm sure you've watched Star Trek, right? The teleporting. You've somehow found out how to teleport us around the world, and I think it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, beam me up, Scotty. That's what it is.
So we look forward to many more stages. I know you've probably shared this, but we're going to Miami and then over to Dubai and then over to back home to London, and then you're just popping all over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited once this one's out the way, which is in a couple of days. Tomorrow. I'm very excited about Miami. So we're gonna plan something very, very big there. It's going to be
exciting. And I know you have your television station that's on Roku and various other digital platforms, but all this stuff that's being recorded on our stages go up in a couple of days. This is actually live right now on Roku TV, which is amazing. And just really excited to be part of this, Bernardo. But I just wanted to give you a proper introduction.
Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Everybody, I present to you our founder, Bernardo Moya.
Thank you so much, Tony. Yeah, hi, guys. Thank you so much. So, yes, I always tend to find a slot that is, probably late always. I mean, I remember the expo I did in LA. I actually spoke on the last day in the last hour. So I was pretty exhausted and knackered at the end. So look, I mean, I don't really have enough time to share, think about my talk really, because it is around my experiences and obviously around my book, The Question, but also about the new things that I'm currently experiencing or living personally, So I try to bring you what I'm feeling, experiencing, and understanding and believing to be true. So these are my truths, and I think if anything, with the fact that I started working very early, very young. I mean, my parents were immigrants. They moved to the UK. They met in the UK. And obviously they worked very hard. My mum, since she was 16 or 17, and my dad the same. And they met in London, and it was a very interesting journey for them. And having seen them with that work ethic, and then myself involved with them and supporting them when I was a kid, because they used to work they both used to work. They had very demanding jobs, and I used to help them and support my mom and dad in any way I could in the kitchen and cleaning cars. And since I was 7, so I've always had that sense of working hard for it. And then I remember, if I fast forward a long time, then, I started working as a DJ, and then I started working in nightclubs, and a lot of the things that I've done in my life, and I've done a lot of things, have helped me become who I am. And I think that's kind of the first lesson I want to give you, is that we all have experiences from our youth that are, can be implemented or who have dictated or are dictating who we are and our personalities. And some of that experiences can be brought to your new life, to maybe that reinvented life that you're looking for. But I've always had that work ethic, and I think that's something that has stuck with me. I've worked very hard, maybe too hard, maybe I should have been smarter, but I've always gone and pushed myself to do more, be more, think of more, and not really settle for something that would be normal or average. So that comes from my early years. But if again, my dad unfortunately passed away when I was young. I was 15, and then the responsibility of my my brother and my mum. So that also marked me. So I also always had that sense of trying to find the father figure, and I think again my second lesson with this would be around trying to find someone. I was looking for someone that would step in to become my dad, and that I would these were partners, bosses, and all sorts of things. So at the end of the day, when I realized, obviously, when I became a father myself, or had my own family, was that no one's coming for the rescue. So I think one of the things I wanted to share with you as well is to realize that first of all, whatever your experiences are that you have can be applied, used to what you might be doing today. So I used to run big parties and nightclubs, and all of a sudden now I run big parties and events live or virtually. Uh, the same happens with my work ethic, and then understanding that no one's coming to the rescue. I think we're at a time right now where we have to step up and stand up and take responsibility for our own lives. And because again, no one's going to come and help you and sort it out. And I'm not saying that you might not, because you might have a support mechanism, a family, you might have friends, you might have a great community of people that believe in you, you might have a coach and a mentor, and if you don't, you should. But what I'm saying is that you're still responsible for your own life, you're still responsible for your own future. And I think, if anything, a lot of the things that I've learned, which I shared in my book, the question, and it is, you can download the audio version of the book, or it's available in Audible and Amazon. I think, if anything, it's very current now, because the main things that I focus on the book is around resilience. I focus around resilience, I focus around revolution, which is change, and I focus around reinvention. And I think that they are obviously the most important attitudes that one can have right now. And it's the study of that resilience, that inner strength that we all have. We all have this phenomenal inner strength within us, where we're capable of doing the most amazing things. Yet, we don't really believe sometimes in how capable and how strong we are. And it's only when we are really pushed that we realize how capable we are. So I really want you to appreciate and understand, and visualize and see and remember times when you have been extremely resilient, when you thought that you wasn't going to come through and you did, times when you were going to give up and you didn't, uh, times when you thought it wasn't possible and it was. So we all have that inner resilience, and I think this is something that you need to remember. And if not, you need to focus on visualizing and seeing you being resilient and being able to get through these challenges. I was talking. I shared a video the other day, which was about giving up, and it's funny enough. I read an article that 50% of people give up their New Year's resolutions by February, which is pretty scary, isn't it? I mean, come on, give it till at least February, give it till at least March or April. But 50% of people give up their goals and objectives by February. So I think that the idea behind it is to obviously focus that we are capable of doing more, and you shouldn't give up. And the way you won't give up is by realizing your internal dialogue, in saying to yourself positive things. I am capable of doing this. I will get over it. It is a bad day, but tomorrow's going to be much better. And so it's that internal dialogue. It's about visualizing, about seeing the positive outcome. And when you're setting yourself a goal, you have to see your goal as achieved, as done, as done. It's out of the way. It's just that I'm just going through the process. I think a lot of the times when people give up is because they don't really make that pictures bright enough. But not only they don't make their pictures bright enough, they don't actually focus enough on the outcome, on seeing it happening, in materializing. Whenever I've done an event, whenever I've had a project, I've thought about it in my mind, and I pictured it in my mind, and I would just literally tick, it's done. Okay, yeah, I can see it done. It's done. It's done. So the moment I would see and visualize that it's done, that's it. There's nothing going to stop me back. Now I would obviously visualize as well the adversities, the challenges, the constraints I might have, in order to be realistic and in my expectations. But never ever give up. We have to keep fighting. And when you see friends, loved ones, kids, or people who are struggling with diseases or cancer, or with very serious health issues, that's the time to really put things in perspective and realize how lucky you are. And one of the things that I've always done when it comes down to understanding and believing in myself, in having that resilience, is in realizing and asking myself this question always: is if I was two years from now, 2 years before, 2 years prior to this, 3 years prior to this, would I have imagined to be where I am now? What would I have given to be where I am now? What would other people give to be where I am now? If I had nothing and I'm starting from all over again, absolute from scratch, would I not rather be where I am now? So those are the situations which would make me reframe any challenging situations that I've got, to appreciate and understand my resilience and believe in myself. And also the last thing, my last tip and advice for you to never give up, is to reset. Reset every night. If you've had a bad day, it's always bad. But you know what? When it's dark, it's always, things seem worse at night. Things seem worse, at least for me. But then when the morning comes up and the sun's out, and you've got a beautiful view, and you can just simply meditate and think, and things all of a sudden look different, and you're capable in giving it another go. And that's what you got to do. You got to reset every night. So I want you to remember, I want you to appreciate and understand how resilient you are. You are capable of the most amazing things, because you are amazing. And I think if you focus on that, well, that's basically what's going to happen, is that you're going to appreciate that you're capable of doing the most amazing things. Now, the second thing was the idea around revolution. And revolution is, well, I talk about in my book, I talk about the Industrial Revolution, the Agricultural Revolution, and obviously, these revolutions had an impact where it caused, great havoc. The agricultural or the industrial, because things had to start all over again, and then people losing their jobs, and things having to start all over again, because it was necessary. And luckily we had those revolutions, because if we didn't, we would be living in a very dark age. It's more like when we used to have horse and carts, and people didn't believe that cars were good for us, or when the people wanted to keep the old ways of doing things without factories. And so all these revolutions that have happened in life have, and now the educational revolution, are transforming our life, are transforming the world, and it's transforming how we live. And you look at now what's happening with COVID, all these dramatic changes, and the consequences of these changes always bring good things, bring good things. We have to look at change as our friend. The moment as you start looking at change as your friend, you start focusing on change being a good thing. It's part of growing, part of evolving. If you didn't change when you were 3, well, you would still be quite short, wouldn't you? And if you didn't, if you didn't learn new things, well, you wouldn't be capable of doing the things that you're doing now. If you never learned to drive, well, you probably wouldn't have gone anywhere. If you never had the guts to get on a plane, well, then you would have never traveled and seen any countries. So these are decisions that you made, which were changes that were positive in your life. And a lot of times people want to change. It's like they want a six pack, and that they want to be strong, they want to be fit, but they don't want to sweat. They want to look fit, but they want to eat the chips or the potatoes or the cake, and they don't want to exercise. Change is good, but change is something that you have to embrace, and you have to bring into your life. So I really want you to look at what's happening to us now as a revolution. We're going through a revolution. Everyone is, and we're all learning from what's going on. This is new for many, many people. Some people are thriving and other people are struggling, but some people, and a lot of people, are embracing it. I got to say, I'm struggling, or I've struggled with a lot of the things that have happened, because I used to run live events. So I've been trying to find the way, or the best way forward for us to move forward. How can we do things differently? What's happening? What are the trends? Where will this industry go? Where is the world going? So that only comes by reading, by learning, by seeing what the trends are, to seeing what the other people are doing. Follow the trends, look at what successful people are doing, and take a step forward. Take a step forward, and hold your place. At the end of the day, we spend our lives focusing on building wealth. We spend our lives on trying to have all these material things, and at the end of the day, we can't take anything away with us. Everything stays here. So at the end of the day, if this should be showing you something, is that life can be a lot simpler than we originally thought it should be. And we definitely need less. We don't need as much. So by maybe having less things in your life, maybe you'll become happier, which is one of the things that I've been exploring recently. But staying on the focus of revolution, I want you to look at this as a revolution that will bring the most amazing opportunities for so many people. And it is, and it will. We might be traveling less as far as holidays is concerned, but there's advantages and opportunities on not having to travel to see an event, to be at an event. The time that you spend away from your family, the time that you're traveling when you're not actually working, the expenses of traveling. So there's so many great things that are happening with this new reality that we have. And obviously, the fact that we are able to connect from anywhere in the world, and we're able to have relationships with people from all over the world, and that we're more available to listen and to engage, and we're actually going out of our way to do it. And then the third thing is reinvention. Again, I think this is a time to really explore what else could you do? What else could you do, and what could you do that's different? What else could you do that could maybe something that you've been thinking about doing for a long time? And there's so many stories of people that have reinvented themselves, so many actors, so many authors, so many students, so many Olympians, so many people that have reinvented themselves at a specific time in their life, in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s. And normally, not all the times, it's been because of there's a turning point in their life that's actually made them explore new possibilities. So I invite you to explore reinventing yourself. And reinventing yourself does not require for you to become a different version. It's simply a 2.0, a 2.5, a 3.0. It's becoming a better version of yourself. This is what the whole idea of the brand is. This is the whole idea of the best you. This is a whole concept and idea of bringing you big thinkers that will hopefully trigger something in your life that will have a phenomenal ripple effect where you can go out there and make the world a better place. I've said this many times. The world needs leaders. The world needs explorers. The world needs adventurers. The world needs people that are going to step forward to embrace this new reality, to inspire the world. And I'm very excited about where we're going with the Best You Expo, virtually with the Best You TV, and putting this content on TV because we want to reach more people. I've always wanted to reach more people. I've always wanted to have the possibility of being able to connect with people all around the world. So I'm embracing what we have now, and I'm looking at how we can reinvent the company so it becomes stronger, becomes better. But I'm also exploring Bernardo. Bernardo's exploring his journey of how he can reinvent himself. What else can he do, and what can he do differently? Because my father passed away, unfortunately, was at the age of 54, and it's always had a burden in my life because I've always had that in the back of my mind, thinking, well, will I get to 54? And if I do, what else could I do? So I've always had that in the back of my mind where I wanted to do more things. I wanted to be more. I wanted to become more because I wanted to do a lot of things that I know that my dad unfortunately didn't do. And I believe that 54 is quite young. It's the late 40s. I think so anyway. But also, I think I have a lot more to do. I have a lot more to say. So I'm on my journey of understanding that wealth isn't necessarily it. And I had wealth and I have wealth because if anything, I've got beautiful children and lovely kids, and they are my legacy. So, but I didn't need all the things that I wanted when I was younger. I wanted all the cars, and I had the cars, and I wanted all the motorbikes. I wanted all the big houses. I don't want that anymore. And I wanted to have 100 shirts and all these. I wanted to have all these different kind of all these different toys and all these different clothes that I could wear and all these different material things. And I don't want that anymore. And the reason I don't want it anymore is because I understand that in order to be more, you don't need more. In order to want more, you might need less. So I've started exploring kind of what's happening now with this new reality of the world. Excuse me. This new reality in the world where where now you're looking how we're hurting the environment by planes traveling all over the world to deliver goods. So I'm drinking a wine that's coming from Argentina, and it's traveled 4 or 5 thousand miles, and there's been 100 people involved in the process, and lorries and all sorts of things. And that's kind of something that Ken Honda was sharing about this new economy of it being local. Of, do you need 16 shirts, or do you just want 3 good shirts? Do you want 46 t-shirts, or do you just want 5? Because if you buy all these things that cost money to produce, that then you don't use, you're just simply burning this environment. You're just simply being extremely materialistic and not taking into account that we're killing the planet. So when we start looking into the idea of kind of, which was based on a documentary on Netflix, which was showing that a lot of the things that we have, and why we've come up with this theory of wanting more, was because when advertising campaigns started in the 50s and 60s, when television came around, trying to plug you whatever it was, the car or the new hob or the new Hoover or whatever it was. And we've now been brainwashed because, we're talking about a generation later or 2 generations later. Now, we're literally bombarded with all sorts of things that we should buy, need to buy in order to become pretty, gorgeous, cute, or to become cool, or you see these people with these ridiculous bodies, that are wearing this amazing clothes, and I'm going to wear it, and I'm going to look exactly like that. Well, no, you're not. And no, you don't need it. So that's where I'm at. I'm at a stage right now where I hope we create this new consciousness around the reality of our obligation to become the best version of ourselves, our obligation to become the best version of ourselves, and our obligation to do something about the planet and the environment. I came up with a campaign a couple of years ago, which we'll continue to push, which is the best you, a better world. And it's a reality. If you are a better person, if you're a better individual, if you consume less, if you make or create less waste, if you help more the environment, if you inspire your kids, if you inspire your loved ones, if you help them, see the realities of life, in exploring and making a difference, in counting, in taking care of the planet. Jeff Hoffman, founder of Priceline, said about this. People think about they will sort it. Well, there's no they. You and I are they. So I really hope, I really, really hope that the whole idea and the concept of the best you goes deep into the understanding of you are capable. You are not only capable, you are an amazing individual, that you have all the power that it takes in order to become the best version of yourself. You don't need anyone else apart from you and your mindset to appreciate and understand that you're capable of amazing things. You also need to appreciate and understand that change is great. And when you go and dig deep into change and swim in change, and then you explore what that reinvention is and continue to do that non-stop permanently, and then you start understanding that you don't need that much, and you might not need that big house in order to be kind of happy, because it's this vicious circle of I need more money in order to be happier, to have the bigger house, to have that, and when I do that, then I will be happy, and when I have that, then I will be happy. But then, do you need all that? Do you need all that? So I'm at that stage where I'm becoming very minimalistic. And again, there's another documentary on Netflix, I think it was called The Minimalist, and it's just a fantastic theory around that. And it's just kind of like, so I've got rid of a lot of stuff, and I still have more stuff to do. But I love the idea of maybe having just a couple of suitcases and being able to move anywhere around the world and start all over, or maybe spend 3 months, especially now with COVID, isn't it? I mean, so I moved to the US, thinking of building my brand and company over there. And all of a sudden, when we were about to run our first expo there, not my first, my second expo in LA, all of a sudden we had to cancel it. So I went to expand and to explore doing bigger events in the US. Well, that's all of a sudden gone out of, that's not a reality anymore. So then I stayed in LA, in Santa Monica, which is not a bad place to stay, don't get me wrong. But I was very far from home, and home was Spain and Europe. I didn't have access to my kids. So now I just literally decided to kind of relocate here in the south of Spain. I've got myself a lovely place, which I've just simply rented for 5 or 6 months, just to explore and to stay around here and, kind of get in touch with the soul and explore what I can do for global domination from here for now. Because in 5 or 6 months' time, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't listen to the news, but sometimes I do read it now and then just to keep on top of things. I love reading anything about to do new technologies, trends, and all sorts of things, but I don't like wasting my time with negative news. Hashtag no negativity. But when I do read it, now I hear some people saying it's going to be around for another year, another 2 years, because people have to have a vaccine, and it's still going to take a long time. And so, oh my God, so who knows? Well, maybe next year, or maybe in January or February, I might move to Turkey for 6 months. I don't know, but I think that's exciting. And I get it. Listen, if you've got a family and you've got a home and you've got roots, well, great. Listen, good for you. I've had that. And but I'm at a stage in my life where I really want to explore as much as I can. I want to do as much as I can, and I want to see what I'm capable of doing. And I think we can all do that to a certain degree. So, my message to you, and I don't really know how much or how long I've been talking for, but what my message to you is to appreciate that you are capable of the most amazing things. That you're a universe. Your world, your whole body is a universe, and it's a beautiful, uh, beautiful body, because it is so smart, the things that our body does, and obviously it is down to here, to the mindset. So my advice to you is to focus on building a good, strong mindset. Get yourself a coach, get yourself a mentor if that's something that you're struggling with. To read, to explore, to appreciate that you are capable of not only doing the most amazing things, but that you never give up. That you are going to keep fighting to the last day and to the last breath, and that you want your kids and loved ones to look up to you, because they're sponges. They're sponges. If you're going out and you're doing things that are inspiring, if you're going out there and making a difference, if you're going out there and you're helping their learning, and you just don't know the ripple effect. So we're all here to become the best version of ourselves, but we're also here obliged to leave a legacy. Steve Covey's quote that we're here to love, live, laugh, and live a legacy. And and I remember someone was telling me the other day, "Oh, well, I don't believe that we can leave a legacy. I don't believe that actually people leave a legacy." Oh my God, there's so many people that have left a legacy on this planet. Thanks to them, the world is much better. These are people that, I don't know, invented things, discovered things, explored countries, whatever. So a lot of people have left a legacy, and a lot of people have touched you or touched your life, and the ripple effect of that. So I was thinking of a friend of mine, Bernie Dorman, from CEO Space, who, to be honest, we spoke maybe 20, 30 times, and we met maybe 4 or 5 times, but he had a deep impact in me, in my life, because everything he said to me was the most beautiful things that anyone have said to me. And knowing who Bernie Dorman was, and kudos to him, knowing who Bernie Dorman was, and the impact that he's had, and how many CEOs and how many kids he's educated, and the ripple effect of that will be on forever. So that legacy is long and everlasting. And some people might not remember him, but maybe in a generation from now, but the people that he touched, and the effects of what's going to happen because of his teachings, and because of how he helped entrepreneurs, or how he helped people believe that they're the best version of themselves, or they're the most amazing individual ever, that will be with you forever, the same as his words will be with me forever. And it's made me believe that I'm a better individual, and thanks to that, I'm going out there and keep pushing myself, and I keep pushing to make sure that I can carry on delivering, and doing things. So understand that you have to leave a legacy, and ideally you want to leave something that's inspiring. And if leaving a legacy is only, and I'm saying only, and it's a big massive thing, if leaving a legacy is only that you're inspiring your kids, you're making them better people, better individuals, you're making them become, leave a phenomenal legacy too, well, that is already something in itself. Uh, i'm i'm also at that time of my life, I think, where, kind of with the loss of my mom, and some a lot of friends actually this year, I really I really appreciate and understand that at the end of the day, with everything that we do in life, all the wealth that we're following and searching, and those hours that we spend at work, and in pursuit of those dreams and helping people and trying to do whatever it is that we're trying to do, busy, 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 being busy. At the end of the day, we all want love. And ultimately, it's all about love. It's all about love. So if everything that you do with love, if everything that you do from a place of love, and if everything that you do with the best intentions, and if everything that you do and you say, you're doing it ultimately to be loved and to share love, well, I think that that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's what we ultimately all want. I think that's what it should all be about. So personal and professional growth for me is obviously about thinking. It's about thinking about what you're thinking about. It's about having the right mindset. It's about appreciating and understanding how amazing you are, how resilient you are, how you're welcoming revolution, how you're focusing on reinventing yourself, and how you're focusing on maybe focusing on the real things, not on the things that you don't necessarily need. The idea of maybe needing less in that pursuit of happiness. Maybe happiness will come from wanting less, and the concept of Ken Honda, which I'm implementing now, of happy money. Is embracing money when you pay, when you receive it. Having a relationship with money that's different to kind of probably what I've had in my life. So, and then, as I said, lastly, it's all about love. So make sure that whatever you do, wherever you're working at, is share the love, and love can come and be manifested in many different kinds of ways. And one of them is obviously just by simply saying a kind word. A lot of the times people underestimate the value of a kind word, and it is really down to kindness. So that could just have a phenomenal effect on someone's life. Just saying to someone, "Hey, you look amazing today," or "I tell you what, you really inspired me. You really touched me," or "Thank you so much for that," or "I think you're amazing," and lifting someone up, or maybe calling someone when they're not expecting it, maybe when they've lost someone, maybe when they're going through a hard time. Love, share the love, share the love. I think that's what it's all about. And if you can share and add to your love, your expertise, you're going to be successful in whatever you do. So that's it. That's my talk. Again, I don't really plan very much. So I hope this has been a helpful and an inspiring message to you.